And they're off.
Yeah, Malagord off to a bit of a start here. Ooh. I think
We're off the
the
bat.
runner that start in Link's house, finding something spicy, getting the hammer right off the bat.
Really nice find right as soon as you want to see it. That's really nice. Oh boy, I see quite a number of pendants. I saw a green pendant on Skull Woods and possibly Misery. I was one on Misery Mire.
Yeah, I think Eyeless did not start in Link's house, so I don't believe he has the hammer as of yet. Looks like he started in what would essentially be the Sanctuary, or the Light World, and into Skull Woods.
Right. We saw in the Hype Cave there was also a blue boomerang.
Well, looks like Eyeless taking a intentional death, just kind of saying no thank you.
Yeah. Expect quite a number of deaths in this early game, because this is the Dark World we're talking about.
Ooh, Eyeless picking up the Moon Pearl.
Nice find, right from the bat.
So in various shapes and forms, we have the Moon Pearl making an appearance and a hammer making an appearance. And Eyeless trying to juke everything and finds the hook shot as the second item in Skull Woods.
That's a flying start in for Illis with the hook shot, and will now pick up his hammer.
Yeah, so Eyeless has the hammer and the hook shot. Edium picking up the powder, and it looks like going into Skull Woods is definitely going to give Eyeless a bit of an advantage here.
Definitely. And at this point now, we're just looking for those gloves. Given the fact that Hammer and Merle was found really early.
Yeah, it looks like our runners are starting to get synchronized up. For those in the chat wondering why there's a little bit of stuttering going on.
Yeah, that's usually the result of a sync. In some other cases, it might not be. It might be actual lag, but it's usually at the start. It's just the syncing.
Now, it looks like Edium not too interested in trying to explore Skull Woods further. Not sure why he took a death there.
I'm pretty sure he was trying to. I think he was just trying to get into the into another room. Probably. I'm not sure. Probably go over the that too. Nella's now playing the bow game. Something that a lot of runners will do right off the bat in inverted mode, just so that they can get access to the digging game, and it's also a good source of getting money.
Yeah, turn 30 rupees into about 120 profit, I believe.
Yeah, it's worth the cost and it'll get you to do a free check without having to go all the way around. And Illa's grabbing a big 20 off of the digging game.
Ooh, so the digging game not going to be too rewarding here. But Edium does not seem to have found the hook shot yet. J-Lo seems to be poking around in Thieves Town.
And so is Malagord.
Yeah, I'm assuming the Red Cane showed up in Thieves Town. It looks like Edium's starting to finish checks.
Yeah. Seems like we did pick up the hook shot at one point. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I noticed that I think Malagord grabbed a can of Samaria. I didn't even know where that was. Didn't see where that was.
It was in Thieves Town.
Oh, neat.
And it looks like 3 bombs is going to be our chest game prize. So our side diversion or carnival games are not showing out to be very productive.
Not much.
And J-Lo looks like picking up the bad news of the Bloomerang, and unfortunately, not much else.
Yeah,
Looks
we
like
also found that some cash.
Thieves Town.
Sorry, go ahead.
Looks like there's no gate blocking Thieves Town. Oh, there it is. I guess no glove required to open that.
Interesting. We also found out that some cash was in Ganon's tower. Not really too significant.
And there we go. Eyeless picking up the red cane, and I believe Edium will be picking that item up in short order as well. Oh, getting locked out by an enemy. Oh, taking a death. Edium, no. Not
It's
how you're supposed to
unfortunate.
do that.
That's will come a lot during inverted mode, especially when considering that you start with just start like you would normally would in Zelda. You go, there's just the green tunic and that's it. Until we find more tunic upgrades, of course, but.
And it looks like Edium's not going to explore Thieves Town any further, and gonna have to go back for that red cane, perhaps. Looks like Eyeless has found his way into something here. Now, with just the hammer and the red cane, is blind defeatable?
I think it's possible. I am not completely sure about. It might not be. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough then, if they so choose to try to finish Thieves Town, because Malagord is grabbing blind and only has the Bloomerang, hammer, and red cane so far.
Getting the confirmation that it is possible to kill blind with both hammer and cane, so.
As to how easy or not it would end up being, that we'll find out soon enough. But just more, there's always those odd intricacies of, well, this boss can get damaged by this thing, but not the other, and I don't know if it gets kind of thrown out of balance with inverted mode or not.
I may want to do some tests and see what that happens. Probably just through ALTTP hack, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, Malagord is fighting blind. This is a scripted battle, and Malagord gets sniped from the blind.
Yeah, getting sniped by a laser there from blind. So, unfortunately, only the first battle goes according to plan. So blind will have a completely different pattern, which will not be one the runner will know beforehand.
Right.
Now, what we mean by scripted is that you will see blind move in the same exact pattern for all 4 of the runners the first time that they take blind on.
That is correct. Now Malagord going on for his second round.
Somewhat surprising he's using the hammer for round 1, but it looks like gonna use the cane and get 2 quick hits in.
That's a good, decent strategy to get extra shots in.
Ooh, getting kind of blocked off with using the cane now. Oh, there we go.
And down goes blind. And I think we saw the glove there. And with that, Malagord has drawn a first blood.
So hopefully Eyeless will be second along the way to take down blind, but Malagord scoring our first crystal about 11 minutes in. Oh, this is, remember the 5 Ds of dodgeball, it seems, as Eyeless ducks, dips, dives, dodges, and I think dodges some more.
I don't even know what the rest, I don't even know what that is, but whatever. So, Illis grabs his first crystal. Edium is opting to go for the bow game. Got money for the thing game. Which we know it's really just money. More money.
Yeah, unfortunately, Edium is going to end up going down a path that's not going to be all that profitable, but perhaps raising Zora investment program funding here.
It seems very possible.
Kind of interesting to speculate as to why Edium went through the arrow game twice, but he's going to end up losing a little bit here as he's about to hit a red rupee.
Probably for more protection in the long term. And with that, Illis, as I say that, Illis has crossed into the light worlds for the first time.
Oh, Edium's actually still going in the digging game, even though he got the 20 rupee prize, and I think he's finally had enough.
Looks like he was raising money for Zora, just in case. He will, once he goes into Thieves Town, he will have access to the light world.
It looks like Edium's about halfway there, and he's headed into Not So Hype Cave.
Yeah, very much hype, so not so hype cave. It's been losing its name for the past couple of months at this point.
Well, Eyeless is going to be the first into Blind's hut, so let's see what we find here. There's 5 chests in here. Oh, we have the Ognum's secret weapon there, the bug net.
And silver arrows.
Yes, it is.
Very nice fight from Illis. And Quake. So
far, so good. Ooh.
Yeah. Good thing about Inverted is that you will have direct access to the pendants, the medallion dungeons, just so you can get those checks out of the way if you really want to do that.
Looks like Edium's going to check the pyramid ledge as Eyeless falls down into the well. Malagord's going to now check out Blind's hut, picking up the silver arrows, along with a piece of heart, some cash.
finds the single arrow in the well, and the pyramid ledge was just a heart container.
I think at this point I'd take it.
Right.
Just because having 4 hearts is not as good as having 5. But if I had, 10, 12 hearts already, that's a different story. I think we need to press F to pay respects to J-Lo, taking an unfortunate death to blind there.
Reinforcing your point that 4 hearts is not the best instead of 5 hearts. Which makes perfect sense, especially when you're in the Dark World and you only have a green tunic. All the heart you're gonna need, all the hearts you're gonna get when you're in the Dark World, since you started it, of course.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there's a very high number of enemies that can still just one-shot you with 4 hearts.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. Anyway, Ellis is opting to go look at the magic bat, the strange little bat that's in some sort of chalice thingy that requires just a sack. And only a 20 for his efforts.
Yeah, not as exciting as the half magic you would get in the vanilla version of the game, for certain. But
definite.
Worth a shot.
Looks like there was a vanilla book on the library.
Yeah, Eyeless is about to check the library, and I believe Malagord has already done so as well. But
yep,
there we go. Eyeless confirming it.
Yeah, not even randomized, man.
And just a piece of heart for the race game, so I don't think that'll be all too interesting for the runners today.
Not too much. It seems like I missed a map check. Green Pendant is actually on Hera, and a 5/6 crystal is on Desert Palace.
Well, it looked like Eyeless has checked Cave 45. Looks like we're missing a little bit of a desert. This inverted, changing it back to a lush forestry area.
Yeah, it's one of the couple of changes that's done to the map in inverted mode to make it a little bit more streamlined.
Can only assume Eyeless is going for Agina's cave. No.
Oh, he's gonna check what would normally be a checkerboard cave.
Well, 300 rupees, but well, changed his mind, turned around, went back in, and said, having 475 is better than 175.
Yeah, it puts Ellis just only 25 away from checking Zora, and I think I missed Malagor picking up the ice rod that was after he opened the floodgates.
Interesting place for an ice rod, but we have a bottle, we have some bombs, we have some rupees, we have a whole heart, and more bombs. So Mini Moldarm Cave, not too spicy, but at least a bottle. It's progression somewhat, depending on what the sick kid has.
Yeah, it depends on various situations with the sick kid. Although boots would be nice to have. That's just my little assumption.
Only quality of life upgrades. The boots may not be required depending on where things are.
Right.
But Chad is starting to speculate on what the runners are looking for. The boots is definitely on the list. It looks like one of our chatters has brought up the lamp. as a potential item that they are looking for.
As Malagor picks up another bottle from the Ice Rod Cave, and is pointing out that Charles is pointing out that boots is definitely required because we have for Desert Palace specifically, given it's also a 5/6 crystal.
Oh, you trying to bring logic into play.
Well, I mean, Malagor is fake flippering, so there goes me.
Well, it looks like he's going to be headed to either the Waterfall Cave or the Hobo. Definitely nowhere near enough rupees to check Zora at present.
Right. But Illis might be able to do that check fairly soon, as he has enough to check Zora.
And it looks like J-Lo is trying to raise some money, but a little bit off with his timing here. He might barely break even here. Oh no.
Oh boy. Malagor actually finding the Cane of Burna on Hobo.
Stealing an old man's cane like that. Oh. Link's got issues.
What is this Zora? What is this Zora even thinking? Anyway,
like Malagor's gonna head up to the waterfall, so we'll see what's in the waterfall cave.
Go for blind now.
Yeah, Idiom is taking on blind. Eyeless picking up a bottle in the Ice Rod Cave.
And Malagor is going to go for the waterfall. And Idiom making smooth work with blind as he grabs his gloves.
And so Waterfall Cave, not exactly the most exciting thing so far, but it looks like our runners are all over the place. It looks like J-Lo is back into Skullwoods, picking up the hook shot.
Yeah. Well, Illis is on a mission all the way up to get to Zora and see what the ledge and the fish itself has, because Malagor never even went up check Zora ledge.
Well, without having 500 rupees, I think it's just a waste of time to really go up there.
Yeah, yeah. And looks like Malagor is opting to look into the graveyard ledge.
And J-Lo picking up the Moon Pearl now as well, so the hook shot and the Moon Pearl for J-Lo out of Skull Woods. Malagor not picking up the 20 rupees, which...
I could understand what he probably wants to shoot for 300 instead.
Now we're going to see the back of Escape, the 3 chests here.
As Illis is going to take a look at the fraudster Zora. Just some sticks and stones.
So, boy, do I have a deal for you. 50 rupees for 1 arrow, but a minimum of 10 that you have to buy.
Yep. You can get that at your local Zora's shop underwater. Requires flippers.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, looks like Edium is gonna check Blind's hut here, and we'll find the Swagnat silver arrows.
Ellis is looking into getting into Dark Death Mountain. This is going to be a sequence break because we do not have the lamp.
Yes, the logic of the game does assume that you would have the ability to see in any dark room. And the minor little detail that we only have a blunt object to bash things with, and no pointing objects to do the stabbing.
Right, and as well as the flashy spin effect.
And J-Lo picking up the gloves on blind, and that will be all 4 of our restreamed runners picking up the Thieves' Town crystal.
Yep, and we're now that all of our runners will now have access to the light world. Now, Illusion's going to take the long trek into the light world to get the poor old man back to his little cave thing.
Oh, this almost feels like a walk of shame, having to go so far.
Right, but this is the this is what happens when you're playing inverted, because the cave does not appear in the dark Death Mountain.
Ooh, and only a piece of heart for his efforts. Ooh.
Ugh. That, now I'm also going to take a look at Spectacle Rock and what's inside of it, probably. And there's a lamp on top of Spectacle Rock.
Oh boy. So that means the flute's going to have to make an appearance soon, isn't it? To be able to access the lamp.
I think you're... Actually, yeah, I think it would have to be the flute, because for a second I was thinking the mirror.
Now, is the flute going to allow access... No, the flute would allow running around in the light world or the dark world. It's inverted, so I'm not entirely sure.
I think it has to do with I think it's possible to fly around in the light world, though I could be mistaken. It can also be dark world as well as. I think for the most part everything's inverted. Yeah. Chat's pointing out that you have to activate it in the light world, but you can use it in the dark world because everything's inverted.
Well, unfortunately for Eyeless, we know that the flute is not. Oh, hello.
There's the what I like to call the Infinity Gauntlet. That is the Titan Smith.
So Paradox Cave, at least good for something.
And with that, I like to officially say that the world is now open.
Now, chat's saying that the flute needs to be in front of the mitts, but I'm not entirely sure I follow specifically why.
I think it has to do with the flutes being a more higher priority, but I might be mistaken. I never even commentated an inverted seed, so.
Well, there's a first time for everything, and for both of us, it's our first time. So.
Oh, cool.
So it looks like Idiom is about to find the ice rod in the bottom of a lake here.
Now let's find out that Tower of Hera is not fire locked. And also reading the hint that the single arrow is just in the Kakariko well, which we did pick up.
And I think all of our runners, with J-Lo currently navigating his way through Kakariko Town, have all explored that area fairly. Yeah, Eyeless does have the Titansmiths. I think there's a little error with the updating on the tracker. There it is.
Yep, there it is. Also finding a pretty decently sized hint, some cash in the Mimic Cave.
So, I don't think we're going to be visiting the Mimic Cave this time around.
Definitely not.
Something that they would need it for. Eyeless, I don't think, would need to go to the Mimic Cave to get into Palace of Darkness.
No, I'm pretty confident that Illis will be able to open up a pod relatively easy, with relative ease. As Illis is going to take on our favorite little worm, Troll.
Oh, with the hammer too, so they definitely have to look out and make sure you don't get knocked off a ledge, but that'll do it for Eyeless.
The benefit of the hammer, though, is it does temper sword damage, so it'll only take 3 whacks of the tail in order to kill Shoulder. As he Green Pendant.
Edium has checked the uncle, but I didn't see anything. But that I did see. That's a bow.
Very, very nice. That will now enable the runners to clear Eastern Palace.
So now we're starting to open things up a little bit.
As Ellis now heads his way into the Lawn Spiral Cave, which becomes the Resident Sleeper Cave because there's no boots.
Yeah, but you're gonna find a nice pointy object at the end of it, as Malagord found about a minute ago.
Yeah, that's very nice to grab. It's worth sleeping through the entirety of that weird spirally cave just to grab a little pointy thing.
So Edium finding the Redarang and not talking to Sahasrahla to figure out where the green pendant is.
Well, the green pendant was already established. That was in the Tower of Hera.
Be interesting to see what Eyeless gets from turning that green pendant in. Edium's doing some work here with the arrows now that he has the bow. The tracker, again, a little slow to update. Every once in a while you just happen to catch it right when it wants to update and it refuses to accept a button input.
Yeah, it's a little finicky. Actually, I did make a mistake on my part with the intro. It's actually where the gas tower would normally be in the regular game. That is where Aga is. I thought for a second it was the pyramid, but no, it isn't. Anyway, Ellis is going to go into Hookshot Cave. And picks up the flippers.
Oh.
Sizable pickup. That's that will put Swamp Palace into logic once they grab the mirror.
Let's see. We have the hook shot. Fire rod? No.
No.
There's 3 items for Swamp Palace, isn't there?
I think it's just
You'd need the mirror.
right.
Or since this is inverted, possibly not the mirror.
Right.
The hook shot.
Hammer.
Well, the hammer we already have. The hook
Well,
shot.
yeah, of course. I think it's just I think it's just that. It's just that mirror, hammer, flippers, and hook shot. That's basically We just need to. Yeah, we need to need a mirror anyway, so we can get into the dark world. Either way. Same way you would normally do it in the vanilla or the regular rando. I was gonna go grab his D. Very happy to see that. Malagord takes out Tower of Hera. And looks like Edium is opting to clear Eastern Palace while he's ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely there, so why not?
And actually, it's actually worth it. There's the boots.
Yeah, that just made that little trip completely worth it. The boots being found, that's going to give Edium a pretty good advantage.
Yeah. But that also, once they pick up the vanilla book, Desert Palace is available for him.
Yeah, that's very true. It looks like Eyeless is going to finish the Sahasrahla quest, getting a nice little tip, 20 rupees.
Yeah, it's worth. Hey, give him his pendant. He's very, very missing his pendant.
So it looks like Edium's about to take on the Armos Knights. So we get to see a nice choreographed dance routine.
Right. And with the silver arrows, it's going to make quick work of it, even though it sucks that it's the case, because I like doing the quick kill. And with that, Edium gets his second crystal.
Now that will, even though Eyeless has finished a second dungeon, it was the green pendant, Edium finishing the second crystal dungeon. So technically, for the time being, we could say he's in the lead, especially with having the boots. He'll be able to go much faster around the neighborhood.
Very true. So far, Malagord and JLo is going to be retracing their everyone else's footsteps, as Edium is going to make the return into the light world. And I also should mention this too, as since this converted, if they didn't grab the Moon Pearl earlier, when they get to the light world, they will be a bunny. So that's something to consider.
Ooh. But Malagord picking up his bow, so it looks like JLo is a little bit behind right now compared to where everybody else is. Eyeless, probably in second place. It looks like he is in Eastern Palace, so about to pick up the boots and his second crystal.
The hint was just a unique item was in Thieves Town. We had picked that up already. That was the King of Samaria.
So here's the big important question. Sick Kid, what do you have for us today?
Just a little bit of love. Hey, he's thankful for helping him with his bottle, helping him out with his little sickness. Maybe a heart failure too. That works too.
It looks like we're going to have a lumberjack check on Edium's side of things here. So we'll see if Aga is going to be required. And
no, it is not.
That's a negatory.
That's just a big 20.
So Isla's picking up the boots, and it looks like he'll end up making his way to the end of Eastern Palace.
Eddie, I'm going to check the bunk rocks. And would you look at that? That's another bottle.
So I believe that's 3 bottles that we know of location-wise at this point.
Correct.
So Edium's about to, unfortunately, get a little bit of bad news here.
That big 20 is still there, whether you like it or not, Edium.
Oh, Isla's just absolutely mowing down the Armos Knights. Ooh.
Nice, quick work.
And Edium's gonna find little more than a burrito. Gonna probably check out the rest of the escape sequence here in Hyrule Castle.
It wouldn't be too surprising.
I must have missed something. How did Eyeless get the lamp?
Yeah, that was on Spectacle Rock. Just going behind the rock formation and climb it up. It's just through Hera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just climb up to Hera and then come down. It's not like with normally where you have to get the mirror for it.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off. I'm like, wait a second, it's on Spectacle Rock, so I'm going, alright, need the mirror to get there.
Right. But since this is inverted, they've moved the rock formation. A lot of the locations that mirror are changed up in the Light World. So K45 is accessible just through the Light World, Checkerboard Cave, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, there's definitely those little nuances that are just kind of messing me up, because I think it's one thing. It's just, it's almost like the changes they made it with the festive seed, where there's little differences.
Right, little nuances like snow, ice, where water would normally be, a timer for Halloween. That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who knows? We might have eggs for Easter or something. I don't know. Devs, get on with that. Make that happen. Easter, Link to the Past. Randomizer, festive seed.
Hopefully they're already on it, because Easter is about a month and a half away at this point, I believe.
Oh yeah, it is definitely coming up. A pretty decent hint, finding out that the western wing of Eastern Palace is not really needed. I mean, not Eastern Palace, Swamp Palace.
Well, it looks like Malagord is making their way through Eastern Palace. J-Lo finding the witch's hut, and a little bit of a surprise they're hiding in the bushes for him. Eyeless seems to be Palace of Darkness. As Edium is headed into Paradox Cave.
It's going to be very much a good trade as Edium grabbing his Infinity Gauntlet.
And oh, J-Lo has exactly 500 rupees and is about to get pranked by Zora. And we see a complete heart on Zora's ledge, so I think this is going to be not the best trip northward for J-Lo.
Not much.
Oh, and Edium not getting the hint about Mimic Cave, finding out that there is, in fact, 20 rupees there.
That's unfortunate. Looks like Malagord is opting to look into the hammer pegs.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
Right. And that's Ether.
Yeah, since we don't know what Turtle Rock or Misery Mire are, that might be super good or not so much.
Very much. It's we're at to stress at this point. I would recommend just getting all three medallions if you know where they are, at least. Since it won't require. I don't know what I missed. Apparently there was another bottle.
Mail?
I think it was mail. I don't know. It seems like Turtle Rock is Bombo, so we're gonna need Bombos at one point.
Chat clarifying that it's blue goo, so that might be bottle number 4.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. With the possibility of yeah, it's that's what I was thinking too. The fourth and final bottle. Malagord opting to take Jeremiah home and take a look at the blacksmiths and just a heart piece.
Yeah, it looks like Kakariko showing Link some love, but not in the way of meaningful items here.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like J-Lo's going to have a go into Hyrule Castle. I don't think there's much of anything valuable here.
And looks like Illis is opting to look and take a kill attempt at Helma's Arcane.
Yeah, it looks like gonna be able to pull it off. I was a little concerned that he might not be able to get the helmet off of Helmasaur King.
It works out in the end, and Ellis grabs his fourth crystal, actually. Or no, it's this or third crystal, right?
Yeah, Tower of Hera was the green pendant, so
yeah,
that's fourth dungeon completed, but only the third crystal, as Edium will join Eyeless in the Green Pendant Club. Ooh, that's a mirror. So we have the mirror in Hyrule Castle. J-Lo just picking that one up.
It's worth nice that will now enable everyone to allows the runners to get into Swamp Palace.
And I think the only area that has not been checked yet is exactly what J-Lo's going for, and that is Zelda's cell.
Right. And that's Bombos.
There's our third medallion, so we are at least knowing where all of the medallions. And J-Lo is going to try to cause a little prison riot here and let that guard take him out.
I can understand that. It's since Mirror, well, yeah, although to be fair, Mirror is already available to him. Not really a point in wasting a bit of time having the Death Warp take place.
So I believe the mirror also opens up Misery Mire.
Yeah, that too.
So we should see a Swamp Palace into Misery Mire routing in the near future. I don't know if he's quite ready for it yet. It looks like J-Lo is going to do Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness.
As Malagord enters the Desert Palace. And we found out that there was some bombs rather, held up by the Kakarioka Village Elder, and we have already picked that up.
And Eyeless, unfortunately, going to get only a piece of heart for his troubles with the blacksmiths.
Looks like Adium is also heading to Desert Palace alongside Malagord.
Yeah, taking a little bit of a detour to check the desert ledge.
And nothing too crazy yet. So, at least for Malagord at the moment, he won't be able to clear Desert Palace through the back door. Or no, wait, he can still he can clear Desert Palace. What am I saying? He can do that, but if he really wants to, we will have to come back to it later on anyway.
Looks like Eyeless is starting to check a couple out-of-the-way spots, checking the Lumberjack Cave for Eyeless, as we see J-Lo headed into Eastern Palace in the main room where he's going to find the boots in the big chest in the near future.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that there was actually another sword in the in that section. Oops. That means now J-Lo, I think, now has his first sword.
That is correct. He did not go into the Spiral Cave, and I believe Eyeless and Malagord. No, Malagord I don't think would have went in there yet.
I don't think he is, because he is going to take Kiki up into Pod.
So now it's a matter of if Edium can find his way through Desert Palace while Eyeless works through... Well, he was in King's Tomb, so it looks like... Edium is going to get through Desert Palace here while Malagord works through Pod, and I believe J-Lo is working through Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I can see Edium going through Desert Palace to clear it, because he's right there. He might as well get it out of the way while he gets a chance. And he does have, because I mean, he has a fire source, so he is able to clear it. Oh, that's right. That's why Malagord didn't even clear it, because he doesn't have a fire source. Anyway, it's now time to take on the 3 little land worms that is Mambolus. And blink and you'll miss it for a little bit.
Unfortunately, it looked like Edium blinked as he was not able to land that silver arrow on the 3rd land mollusk.
Anyway, he does grab his 3rd crystal.
So yeah, that's a definite save and quit for Edium, so he's going to probably head over to Palace of Darkness now. Just gauging by where Eyeless has been. And speaking of Eyeless, it looks like he's found a blue safety vest on the Bombos.
Very nice to grab.
It looks like J-Lo, unfortunately, may have met his match, or not quite winning against having to run off to the bathroom or something like that. Hopefully he'll keep going. Oh, and there we go. Just might have been a little time to reflect on where he's been so far. Maybe looking into how to get through the dark room, since I do not believe he has the lamp.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. There's nothing wrong with that. It's new. If he never learned the dark room, it's nice to get a refresher on that. Although I would prefer to get it done before. I should probably analyze it before going to do a race, but I can see why he might be doing it. If, nothing against him.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh no, yeah, oy. It does look like this run has unfortunately claimed a couple victims already, but it is a rather difficult seed, so I can certainly understand that some runners it might be a little much.
Yeah, inverted is not for the faint of heart. if you're really confident in your Link to the Past randomizer skills, then I could see invert as a tantalizing option. But again, completely understandable. As Illus is going to go in and kill Lamellus pretty soon.
And there we go. It looks like J-Lo's gotten through the dark rooms in Eastern Palace, so should be able to proceed through the rest of Eastern Palace at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he has a sword. I would probably normally, if I was playing, I would just normally hold up the sword and make my way through it. But I can understand, again, I could totally understand it from J-Lo's part. Just doesn't feel confident in doing the damage boost. It will kill all the enemies to get the vanilla big key.
Well, that's the great thing about a race like this. It's not exactly one size fits all. As you can see right now, we have 4 separate runners, and they really couldn't be in a more completely diverse area. You know, it's not a linear equation where you go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6.
Right.
So we see Ilus heading through the outside of Hyrule Castle, and it looks like he is about to collect himself a mirror from Hyrule Castle.
Yeah,
Edium is going through Palace of Darkness. J-Lo, it looks like taking an unfortunate death and about to think about where he wants to go next, as Malagord picking up a bottle from the Bumper Cave, or Bonk Rocks, excuse me.
Yeah, that dark room I have not figured out yet, but I've done the first 2 dark rooms myself. But Edium is going to take on Helmstar King and bash away at the helmet, and then will be quick arrow to the little gem, and down goes Malagord. I mean, down goes Helmstar King.
And it looks like Ilus is going to complete his collection of medallions, picking up Bombos. So no matter what the requirements for Misery Mire or Turtle Rock are, he is covered.
Yeah, that's
J-Lo. Oh, excuse me.
That's fine. That's why I prefer to have like all 3 medallions at once. It covers me from medallion dungeons for the most part. Anyway.
Currently, Edium has headed up Death Mountain post-haste here, using a run speed glitch. Malagord seems to be finishing up his Uber Eats delivery for the lunchbox. J-Lo is in Myers Shed?
The good news is that Malagord gets tipped, so
we have ourselves a flute sighting. J-Lo finding the flute.
Wow.
Myers Shed is the correct answer.
Really nice pickup from J-Lo. as Illis now heads into Swamp Palace. And
well, this will be interesting, as Illis is about to consolidate on his lead here, at least with the comparison of the other restreamed runners. If he can finish this off, this should be his 5th crystal.
yeah, and this is without the flute. Eventually, he will have to go into Turtle Rock. I mean, he's able to at least access it due to the early Cadence of Mario.
Well, looking at Illis's path, I think he's gonna try to do Swamp Palace, head over to Misery Mire, and that should get him his flute, to then get up to Turtle Rock, which would then allow him access into, well, I guess it would be Ganon's Tower at that point, but would we have to go into the Light World? Ganon's Tower and Tower of Hera are not switched in inverted mode?
They are switched, yeah. They, in order at least to get into Ganon's Tower, you have to go through the, where the Castle Tower would normally be. That would be in Aga's Tower.
Ah, okay.
But for now, I think all he really needs to even clear Turtle Rock is the Fire Rod. The flute will come as he approaches it, and for Illis, that would be Go mode. The only question is where exactly.
Ooh, a red safety vest. And hopefully Argus hanging on to a fire rod. Otherwise, this could get rather interesting.
Yeah, this is gonna get very interesting as we get in, because that's the question. Exactly where the fire rod could be. It could be on Argus. It could even be on the Witch if once someone finds a mushroom. I mean, it's not really. It's out of the way, yes. But the option is there.
Alright, chat, help me out here. It sounds like we found our item that if it could possibly be on pedestal, help me find a way to justify Fire Rod on pedestal. Go.
That too. Oh man. If it is on pedestal, then this is going to be converted all dungeons.
Oh, Sindorus, you are a bad, bad man. Killing my dreams by pointing out that Skull Woods is a pendant.
Well, to be fair...
we would need this fire rod to get in there.
Well, to be fair, Trinex does require the fire rod to even kill it. And that's the shovel for, on Argus. As, Illis grabs her fifth crystal. So, technically speaking, checking a look at Pet, it might not be dead, because given the fact that Trinex still needs to require a fire rod to even kill it, unless you're really crafty and want to use the lamp for whatever reason.
Well, we can't get to Skull Woods, which is a pendant dungeon.
Right.
Without the fire rod, because you have to use that to melt the face.
Right.
So, unfortunately, the fire rod cannot be on the pendant, because it's required to get one of the pendants to get to the pedestal.
Though, if they want to take the plunge, they can go into Ice Palace. Though, again, though it is a pendant, sure. But it could possibly be pendant on the pendant dungeon that could be on Let me try that again. Fire rod could possibly be on the pendant, on the ice palace pendant thing. The flute is going to be revealed pretty shortly. Is in the Mire Shed.
Yeah, so Eyeless is going to pick up the flute. And I believe that will open up a lot of the world here for Eyeless. But right now, I think he is much more concerned with Misery Mire and picking up that 6th crystal.
And it turns out that Bombos is required for both dungeons. So, if Malagord and Edia ever want to go into play the game, they're going to have to go into the escape.
And chat's helping me out here with the conspiracy theories of a fire rod being tucked away in Ice Palace.
That's what I've been trying to say. It is possible that Ice Palace does contain the fire rod. I mean, sure, it's not on Skullwoods, but it is possible in Ice Palace.
And I think Eyeless would have no problem getting in. Has the flippers.
I think for a second Malagord was looking to, was in the pet area, but I don't think he would be. What was on pet? I didn't even say.
Well, I don't really think it matters what's on the pedestal at this point.
Right,
because we know it's not the fire rod.
Right.
And I think only... Well, again, we know a little more than Malagord does at this point. But,
yeah, Couch Cash on Ped, I wasn't really... I'm not too surprised. As, Illis grabs his first shield.
Well, it looks like Idiom is into Hyrule Castle. So this looks like he should be on the right track to pick up a mirror.
Yeah, very much so.
J-Lo finally picking up the flippers in the Hookshot Cave. Malagord potentially... well, picking up the powder from our Pied Piper, as it is Bombos to get into Turtle Rock. J-Lo opening up Turtle Rock.
I get this play because he's right there. He might as well take a look and a couple checks that is available to him in Turtle Rock, because he has Samaria. I mean, everyone else is Samaria.
And Idiom about to expand his medallion collection, as we see a troll hint, as evidenced by the green text in the front of Turtle Rock. So,
and a little link
reading
symbol.
it is fairly pointless. Well, Chloe, this is the quest for the fire rod right now. So, without that fire rod, our runners will not be able to finish Turtle Rock, and I believe that is what both Eyeless and J-Lo are looking for, among other things.
I mean, we'll see what we can find in here, as Eyeless is going to take on Vitreous.
Question in chat by Rory Extra Life. Has Mally done Spike Cave at all? I don't believe anyone has done Spike Cave at this point.
No. Malagor can... It is possible for him to check it, because he has the Cane of Burna.
And it looks like Edium is going to visit Pyramid Fairy and find a whole lot of nothing. 10 arrows and a piece of heart, so... Picking up our 5-6 crystals, unfortunately, leads to a giant swing and a miss.
But it seems like now Illis is going to... I'm assuming Illis might head into Ice Palace. Or not, he might be actually going to... Oh, he's looking to go... Take a look at the bomb! Oh boy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just saw that on Idiom's side of things, and that's not going to work out for him, unfortunately. But it looks like Idiom is hot on Eyeless's heels now. It looks like he will end up having a go at Swamp Palace in the very near future.
Yep. And for that, he will also rouse in the flute on the Mire Shed, in addition to going in and to completing the what was it? The Vitreous. Yeah, Vitreous.
Yeah, I think Idiom is basically going to do what Eyeless has previously done in Swamp Palace into Misery Mire. Since it looks like the routing at this point is saying, go here.
Right.
So it's a matter of Eyeless trying to figure something out in the interim while Idiom goes through Swamp Palace and Misery Mire. It looks like Eyeless is unfortunately going to open Turtle Rock and not get much out of it, although we might see a run into Laser Bridge.
That is plausible.
As J-Lo picks up Titan's Mitts. Skull Woods, I believe both of the items are accounted for. The Moon Pearl and the Hook Shot. So I don't think we're going to see either of any of our runners really go back toward Skull Woods, because unless the pedestal has something, which it really can't have anything of value. The cape, maybe?
Malagor already headshotted it. It's just Couch Cash.
Oh, right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that minor little detail.
Yeah. So Ped is out of the question. So it might be really brash for me to say this, but it's possible that probably the fire rod. No, wait. That would actually be the check that I was thinking of. Is like possibly the lamp for whatever reason had to be you have to use the lamp to open up the Mafia, but anyway, Illis grabs a mushroom on Laser Bridge, piece of heart. A key. and a red shield. So, Laser Bridge only brings up a side quest, a fetch quest for Illus. That could possibly be that the witch might have the fire rod. Though it's hard to say.
Well, it's starting to narrow down where it might be. If Edium were to end up in Ice Palace while Eyeless ends up going to deliver the mushroom, for example, one of those two almost has to lead to the fire rod at this point.
Right.
And it's just a matter of which one is going to be the correct answer.
Unless for some reason it's on Catfish, which I don't think none of the runners have checked yet.
No, that's actually a good point, and it looked like someone in chat had suggested that as well. So it could be on a very out-of-the-way area, but just
right.
That's about all I really have to say at this point. It's just yuck. Yeah.
But I guess Alice is going to look at the big chest now that I mean he was equipped with the hint from earlier, and just a burrito.
Yeah, that's not the most spectacular of big chests there. Eyeless getting out of there, it looks like mirroring and then saving and quitting. So getting about as far as he can in Turtle Rock without the fire rod.
Yeah.
So now it's a question of Ice Palace or Witch's Hut.
Or possibly Catfish.
Well, it looks like Ice Palace for Eyeless, so
but first, I think he's gonna grab an upgrade. Or no, wait. Oh, he's gonna grab. He's gonna grab Cane of Burna, right? While he's there. While Edium grabs his flute.
So at this point, the race within a race is on. I don't want to discount Malagord or J-Lo, but I believe Eyeless is a little bit ahead of Edium at this point for the quest to figure out just where the heck is the fire rod.
But it's still probable that it is an Ice Palace, which I'm pretty sure he will. Or no, wait. What's he doing?
Zora?
Oh no, he's going for Catfish. This is a play. This is an interesting little play. And just 10 arrows. Ooh. So now it's probable now Ice Palace is what Illus needs to go to.
Oh, that or the Witch's Hut.
That
so
too.
We'll see, you know, where he decides to go, and it certainly looks like it's going to be Ice Palace, as Eyeless using the mirror.
Saying that the unique item was in Eastern Palace, and that was the boots. We have picked it up already.
Yeah, thank you, Hint, for telling us what we already know.
A lot of the hints are not bringing up anything good this run.
Well, J-Lo looks to be mounting his comeback, finishing off Tower of Hera. So hopefully he will find his way into the Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness, or Swamp Palace into Misery Mire. Oh, Eyeless a little early with that sword swing and getting himself zapped for his troubles.
Another one of the hint tiles saying that unique item requires the hammer, and that was Ether, which is not really required at this point because both pendants, both dungeons are Bombos. And Illa's grabbing in the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Oh, this is so sick. So, Idiom's gonna find his first shield, as Eyeless is now making their way through Ice Palace.
With each check from this dungeon, it's getting really close to that fire rod.
Yeah, but it's a question of, is it in Ice Palace or is it somewhere else? Perhaps the witch's hut coming to mind as a place that's not been checked, as the compass and burrito combo for Eyeless showing up.
And that will get rid of the most useless items in the dungeon map pool for this dungeon.
So it looks like Idiom is getting very close to the end here. We'll see if he can finish the boss off and kind of make a hero play to perhaps jump back in front of Eyeless here. So far, it does not look like Ice Palace is paying off.
Yeah, it's looking very unlikely. But if Idiom gets into Laser Bridge, gets the mushroom, and then enters and then goes to get the witch, and if it turns out that it is go mode, the fire rod, then Idiom will retain the lady, and he will be in go mode.
Yeah, Drosy asking in chat if Turtle Rock has been checked. We know the mushroom is on Laser Bridge at this point.
Right.
Along with one of the keys for progression into Turtle Rock further, but this might be the last hope for Eyeless here, and that's half magic, so that is a save and quit. Ice Palace is not the correct answer, as Idiom is taking on Vitreous.
It's Witch. It's gotta be Witch now.
And Eyeless is headed up Death Mountain, though.
Or actually, it might be in Spike Cave, too, because no one has checked that yet.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right, no one's been in Spike Cave yet.
Because Ella's is heading there right now.
So here we go. This is going to be a race to see who has the fire rod. Spike Cave or perhaps the witch. So we'll see if it's Spike Cave. And it is not.
It's the witch.
No.
So if Edium goes into if Edium decides to go into Dark Death Mountain, and then go into the laser bridge, and then gets into the witch, then, which is pretty much now likely that that's where the fireball is at, then once again Edium is in go mode and he will retain the lead, or he'll regain the lead rather.
But this is so brutal.
And it's one of those seeds. Get so many good items in the start, and it's just this one item that trolls you.
Ooh, ether tablet. This, no, this is, the fourth bottle. We knew that one from, one of the runners previously checking there.
It's a weird little, check. A weird little thing that Edium is doing is, he mirrors into, to get Jeremiah, which is actually unusual. I think it's, what I saw, it's pretty precise.
So it looks like Malagord is now headed in Mire. So while Edium and Eyeless are unfortunately chasing ghosts, Eyeless and Edium both going to be delivering a lunchbox, and it is not going to pay off for them directly, as I believe it was it a 20 or a piece of heart that was hiding in the lunchbox?
It was a blue rupee, actually. I referred to it as like a tip.
Yeah, not a very good one this time around.
It's still a nice gesture either way.
Fair enough, that is true. But it looks like Eyeless is got another idea in mind. He's got the mirror equipped and gonna head back toward Misery Mire.
I don't know why he's probably gonna go there. Maybe he missed some chests.
Ooh, now we're really digging, we're scraping the barrel here to try to figure out where the heck that fire rod is.
I don't know. It might be, it's something strange.
Oh.
But so far, Edium is heading in the right direction. He's heading to the turtle rock.
You know, trying to progress, and that progression is basically, okay, go into Turtle Rock and see what's there.
Right.
Or in this case, Laser Bridge.
Yeah, I think that's what Edium is going to be heading towards now, and that's going to be heading towards Laser Bridge. Yeah, that's where he's going to head up to, Laser Bridge. we know this is gonna be a mushroom, and if Edium decides to turn in the mushroom now, after he makes those checks, then there you go.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, you know, a matter of who makes that play first. It looks like Eyeless is doing what we refer to as the cutscene chest, but I believe this has already been explored by someone else. Or maybe not. But, oh, that's a mirror shield.
Yeah.
So Eyeless going back and unfortunately striking out yet again.
That's unfortunate.
Chat saying that Eyeless doesn't have the mushroom, but he definitely picked it up. He was the first to find in Turtle Rock.
I think from what I think I saw, he might have forgot to put it on his own tracker. I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not.
And it looks like Eyeless, through process of elimination, well, he's got the mushroom equipped and now delivered to the witch. So we'll see what comes of it.
50
Oh,
rupees!
denied! Oh!
Oh, so now our options are, like, very limited now. It's... where could it possibly be now?
Somebody please send out search and rescue for the fire rod, please. But yeah, that definitely gets the
I do not forgive. I will not forgive you after doing that. I'm sorry, but I will not allow that on this stream.
I was so convinced it was at the witch, though.
Me too. Oh, what a picnic. Oh.
So it's you know, almost a little bit of like self-depreciation there by, you know, oh, it had to be this, it had to be this, and it's like, nope.
None. But I think now, unless I think Edia might actually try for another check, and that might be. I don't think he's checked. Another runnership checked the big key chest. That might be it, but I don't know.
Well, there's that little chest right there.
No, it isn't. Oh,
Oh, this is just brutal at this point.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Bombo's tablet had nothing. I believe 20 rupees. Ether tablet was what we know to be the fourth bottle. Mimic Cave had a hint for 20 rupees, and I believe Edium was the one who went in there to confirm it. Ilos trying to get the bomb jump and pulls it off.
Yeah. It might actually be on Cold Stare, because Illos never cleared Ice Palace. If by some random chance Cold Stare has the Fire Rod,
he picked up the item in the big chest and then noped out.
that was just half magic.
That's correct. So this is as far as he got before, but it looks like he's going to traverse further into Ice Palace.
I'm pretty sure he's good. Alice is looking to take on Cold Stare, which might actually be where it might actually be where the fire rod is. And if that is the case, that is very, very nasty.
Oh. Yeah, the green pendant went to 20 rupees for delivering that back to Sahasrara. Idiom is about to hit a whammy here with Spike Cave. And this just allows J-Lo and Malagord to basically get back into the game as Malagord picks up Desert Palace along with Misery Mire. J-Lo's about to finishing off Helmasaur King, so that's Palace of Darkness. This is just so savage.
Yeah, this is nasty. This is the most definitive definition of get so many good items at the start, and then have one item troll you at the very end. That is the fire rod!
Has it. Ilus has found himself into Go mode. There's the fire rod. The correct answer was Ice Palace, but Ilus bailed out and has cost himself almost 20 minutes checking everywhere else.
That is unfortunate for Ilus. So, at 1 hour 41 minutes, actually 1 hour 42 minutes, Ilus is now in Go mode. Finally!
Yeah, the first of our restreamed runners is, Idiom is, following in Ilus's footsteps, checking all of these out-of-the-way locations that are just not going to pay off.
No, not at all.
Well, at least we can breathe a sigh of relief as Ilus is now going to get in rock. And in Go mode, I'm not really sure he gets much of a benefit from being in Go mode.
Oh boy.
But Idiom is now on the right track in Ice Palace, so hopefully he'll be able to see this through and take down Cold Stare.
And with that, now Alice makes the final trek on the Samaria block ride and enters Trinex.
Oh no, Ilus allowing Trihex to litter about the room. This is gonna make a, well, fairly mundane fight a little more interesting.
Yeah. There goes the shell Trinex. Needs to get to the head and should do it. And down goes Trinex. And with that,
so some rage slashes to the music for Eyeless, but that's going to be all 7 crystals.
time to play a little game. There's the big key chess guessing game. Inside Ganon's Tower, the basement of Ganon's Tower, there are 22 chests. Take your in chat from 1 to 22. Put your guesses in chat, and where you think that big key is going to be.
Now, we won't be using the bot because it is not a tournament race, but we'll think of something to give as a nice little prize for everybody who guesses correctly with 22, as La Casa de Fiesta here could only possibly have one location where Ganon's big key is.
Right. Why... to the people who are guessing Tower Room, you are very, very cruel to Eyeless.
But, I think, my legitimate guess is always going to be location number 5 until I'm proven otherwise. And it looks like here we go. Eyeless is going to activate the 7 crystals, and here we go. So, number 1, the torch.
Starting left it's always a nice option, although going right to take a look at the first 2 chests, then going left is also pretty good too.
Number 2, that's a negative.
A key, another key. The magic cape.
Number 4. And surprise, surprise, number 5, incorrect. 20 rupees.
Right. But now, Eyeless is going to take full right.
Yeah, with 2 keys, no, 3 keys now. Yeah, this is full right side. Not to discount what is going on anywhere else, is J-Lo taking on Argus, and Idiom taking on Cold Stare. So Idiom should find his way into Ganon's Tower in short order, as Eyeless continues to progress through.
Yeah, at this point, Eyeless has a pretty substantial lead.
And 3 bombs. Ah, the compass. Oh, that was a fortunate piece of heart as Eyeless gets the health refill. But I believe that's 4 more locations down, so we're up to 9, I believe.
Yeah, it seems like Idiom had
11
death, but he did have a fairy to revive them, so he's still in it for the long haul against Cold Stare.
But yeah, this Cold Stare is not going to be the greatest fight. Oh, so let's see, we're on number 12 coming up here, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, oh, I'm surprised Eyeless did not capture that fairy. But that's rupees for Eyeless. It sounded like 300 of them.
It was. The Armos Ice Knights.
So we're going to have a nice little Armos on Ice performance here. Eyeless having a little difficulty lining up that last shot. That's a negative. Negative.
Ooh.
So let's see. That was 13, 14, and 15. All pieces of heart.
It could also be in randomizer room, if it's possible. Because we haven't seen a few other checks over on the right, on the left, sorry.
Well, going down this way is about the, well, let's see, firebar room.
Nothing.
Oh, 4 in a row. So if we were playing Connect 4, we'd be in good shape. But unfortunately, this is not the game we're playing.
Hey, at least you get a heart piece for a heart container for it.
Yeah, so Eyeless getting a second refill. So it looks like we're off to, let's see, we're down to 17 at this point?
Yeah, Alice is making his way into the rando room. Well, first of all, this is going to be rando room. This will be checks 17, 18, 19, and 20.
No, this should be 18,
Right,
19,
right.
A tempered, 20,
sword, and
21.
Oh, it's towel room. It's towel room. Oh my god.
Oh, I could only be so prophetic.
Oh, what a poetic end to such a troll inverted seed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But La Casa de Fiesta...
Oh, everyone, I guess... I mean, at this point, who cares? Everyone has won at this point.
Yeah, I give up. Can I press
I
F?
give up
Can
too.
I
At this point,
tap out? Can I forfeit from this race? Oh no!
You're a commentator, though. You're a commentator. There's the big key. Eyeless is gonna end up as into Gannon's tower.
And there we go. It is number 22, the tile room. Eyeless finding the big key.
Oh no! We go from Fire Rod being on Cold Stare to tile room. I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, the fire rod in the pendant ice palace into just oh my, what a mess.
Alice goes up the gauntlet. It's been a
Yeah,
long
I need a minute to kind of recover from that big key debacle. Ian is going to be in for a bit of a treat here, as he's going to be subjected to this madness now.
Unless Edium decides just to go straight for the tower room. But it's very unlikely. Oh.
Well, with the way things have been going, you never know.
Yeah, very true. Oh, he's gonna keep going.
And unfortunately, Idiom has condemned himself to full clearing probably the entirety of the front side of Ganon's tower, left and right.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. Eyeless is on his way through, about to have a go at Lanmolis. Just a few rooms away at this point. At this point, Eyeless has got everything he needs, so there's just about nothing he would want to get at this point. He's got Tempered Sword, got Silver Arrows. I mean, you pick up the Butter Sword along the way, fantastic, but I don't think we'd want to go out of our way for it.
No, at this point, what gives? Just grab the chest from Moldorm and get out of here.
Yeah, of course, 10 arrows in that chest. Time for a geometry test, however, for Eyeless.
Yay.
Ooh.
Nothing.
And not a good start, but that looked like a hit there. That
was a hit.
There's 2. There's 3. So 0 and a bunch of 1s. So we're speaking in binary here. Oh, there we go. There's a double.
Okay. You were saying
one more hit should do it, and there it is.
That's it. Yeah, a 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1.
As Idiom has found his way all the way to the randomizer room at this point. So he is going to get the bad news as he is checking his chests 19, 20, and 21. At least he gets the Tempered Sword out of it, but off to the tile room with you, my boy. Malagord going through the laser bridge, and it looks like he's about to head off to Trinax, as Eyeless starts the Ganon fight. Ooh, Idiom having the bomb jump across instead of bonking off the skull. Eyeless is in stage 3, already halfway through. And there's the third hit, so one more hit and we'll be on the final form of Ganon. And it looks like we've got ourselves a torch glow. Ooh, Eyeless, nice. Catching Ganon before he warps away.
And with that, Eyeless has placed first in the restream. We'll get the official time in just a second.
Yeah, I believe he'll end up in somewhere around 6th or 7th place overall.
7th place, with an official SRL time of 1:59:21.
And to bring everybody up to speed while Idiom and the rest of the runners finish up with the restream, Blaine was our first place finisher, 1 hour, 48 minutes, 45 seconds. Frostbite 3030, second place, 1 hour 50, 20 seconds. Plasma Kappa, our third place finisher, 1 hour 52, 8 seconds. Magnificent, our fourth place finisher, 156, 13 seconds. Salty Fry, just a little bit behind, 156, 29 seconds. Big Dunka, our sixth place finisher, 159.04, just clipping Eyeless by 17 seconds.
Of Eyeless, we have Eyeless in the booth with us. GG, man.
GG. What a seed.
Oh my god. You wouldn't even... You don't even know what happened in the booth. Just...
Oh, somebody clipped it, though, so...
Yes. I'll send you the clip. Tile room, big key. Need I say more?
Yeah, that was like the thing that made this even more awesome, I guess.
Oh, that fire rod. Oh man, we were making all sorts of different assumptions. We thought it was the witch, and that wasn't the witch. It wasn't Spike Cave. Oh my god. I'm worn out at that.
People might have wondered why I left Ice Palace after finding the half magic. It was because Bonta finished at like 124, and then I was like metagaming thinking, yeah, no way Bonta finished at 124 and fully cleared Pendant Ice Palace, and so I left, and turned out Bonta had the wrong seed.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a miscommunication with what seed should be run. A little last-minute substitution, as it.
Yeah.
That was definitely something I wanted to ask you about, because I think you subjected everybody to about an extra 15 minutes worth of pain and suffering going through all those out-of-the-way checks instead of, just finishing off Ice Palace.
Yeah, I might have been first that way, but, well, it happens. And, I guess it might have been funny to some people.
Well, it depends on if you can kind of laugh at when something doesn't exactly go right and just sort of laugh it off, but oh boy. I kind of called the way the seed was going. I kind of called it right at the beginning, but of course I didn't stick through and actually make it my official choice, as there was only one fitting location for where the big key could have been in Ganon's tower.
Exactly. Oh, we were sorely mistaken.
Pardon me? I actually thought about doing Tile Room because I had a lot of keys in the right side and another key in Hope Room, and that made me feel like there's an increased chance of big key in Tile Room, but I didn't go through with that.
Well, Idiom just shows us where the Butter Sword is. The room right before the Trolldorm 2 fight had the Butter Sword in it. I believe you had actually skipped that chest.
Ah, that is correct. At that point, I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to finish.
Well, I certainly do not blame you for that one.
Me neither. Oh, man.
And it looks like Idiom is on to our geometry test, as Malagord has just joined Idiom inside of Ganon's tower.
Idiom Idiom getting a triple right off the bat. And down goes the sorcerer.
Yeah, so Idiom was actually doing pretty good here, making up some time, but I guess the way things shook out, still about roughly 10 minutes behind Eyeless in where he'll end up finishing if everything goes right.
My guess is that some people had a bit of a problem with blind.
I think most everybody took a death to blind the first time around, with only 4 hearts to work with. Not exactly the easiest of fights with a hammer and, I believe, the red cane to work with.
I got a bit lucky towards the end. I almost died as well, and I was pretty happy that we found the red cane because my hammer blind is terrible. So yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
So Idiom is already into phase 4. And it looks like gonna land a arrow shot here. Ooh, almost running himself off. Not able to get the... So no torch glitch, but it looks like... oh, Ganon just switching before he's able to land the final shot. So this should do it for Idiom. And it looks like Malagord, our third runner, find out the great news as going full left side and coming up empty.
Yeah, and as Idiom has finished 9th place overall with an official SRL time of 2:07:13. You just speed through the entirety of the credits, and I don't blame him for doing that.
He wants to see where, like, 1 or 2 items might have been, like the pedestal, for example.
Right. I don't blame him for that, too.
Hopefully we'll get Idiom in here in short order, as Malagord is making his way through and finding the big key in the tile room.
I think he just decided, you know what, screw it. We're gonna just go in and we're gonna go tile room anyway. And that's, I mean, like, the first checks just go tile room. And he's not wrong.
Yeah, at this point, absolutely. It looks like J-Lo is unfortunately getting blocked by the fire rod at this point.
And joining us now is Idiom. GG, man.
Hey, GG. It was a rough seed.
No kidding. Ugh.
I blame Bonta.
Yeah, I had a bad start. I think I took 3 deaths in the first 10 minutes. And then somehow I got blind on the first try, so I don't know, go figure.
Eh.
So was there anything aside from the fire rod that just you know, made you just kind of throw your hands up and go,
not really. That mirror I didn't find for quite a while. I went and got the bow from Uncle, and my plan was originally to go into escapes, so I would have got the mirror, but then I got the bows. I'm like, I'm just gonna go straight to Eastern.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah, I guess it worked because I got the boots, but then I missed out on the mirror.
Yeah.
well, for most of the race, both of you were really going, you know, kind of like zigzagging back and forth. Like, Idiom, you would check something, and Eyeless would check something, and then you'd kind of flip-flop. And then
Yeah,
somewhere along the way, Eyeless got out to a bit of a lead. And I forget exactly where it was, but it was after Idiom you had picked up the boots first out of the restreamed runners.
Yeah. Probably not getting that mirror for a while set me back. I don't know, did you get the mirror late, Illis?
It was pretty late. I think it was my second to last item.
Ah. Might have been my third to last. My go mode was Fire Rod, of course, and then I think maybe mirror was actually my second last item.
And I thought you were gonna say something about the tile room big key in Ganon's Tower too.
Yeah, I've had a couple of tile rooms in the last few seeds I've played. It's always annoying. I was considering gambling on it, but didn't this time.
Oh boy.
Well, I think in your case, it really wouldn't have changed anything. Well,
No,
I guess maybe you would have potentially finished in front of Shire, but there was still about a 5-minute gap there.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that happens sometimes. Bunch of finishers and then no one finishes for a while.
For context, Shire had finished in 8th place with an official SRL time of 2:02:13. So it's just exactly 5 minutes behind, 5 minutes apart from each other.
And so, I guess if left side would have taken 5 minutes, then, you know...
Yeah, I would have been closer to Illis, but I wouldn't have beat him.
Well, I don't think you would have beaten Eyeless, because I think Eyeless was into the geometry test when you had just gone into begin Ganon's Tower.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, Illis didn't pick up the butter.
Yeah. With temper, everything is enough. Like, why would you even care about the chest?
Right.
I was
Plus,
right beside it. I was like, what the hell?
yeah, I mean, butter, I mean, it's just a very much optional idea, but it's nice to have regardless, but...
In any case, I still had fun, even though tormented us quite a bit.
Yeah.
Inverted was always quite fun for me, so
Yeah.
I don't mind it if it's trolly. And I wanted to say thanks, guys. I think I'm gonna sign off because it's 4:20 a.m. my time, so I want to go to bed.
That's fine.
And
Well, I
GG.
don't blame you.
Yeah,
But
GG
yeah.
Illis.
GG
Yeah.
and good night.
Well done being the first of the restream runners to finish. So have a good morning at this point.
Pretty much morning, yeah.
Thank you, and GG again.
Get some rest, man. See ya.
Well, it looks like Malagord's making short work of the Ganon fight at this point, already into Phase 3. J-Lo looks to be heading into Death Mountain area, but unfortunately not going to pay out. As we know, the Fire Rod is unfortunately tucked away in Ice Palace.
Really?
Oh no.
I would have fallen off.
Golly good. I almost fell. Did you see that?
Oh, yes, we did.
That was ridiculously close. I was probably 1 pixel away.
I actually thought you were getting sent off, to be honest, because
Yeah, I don't know how I stayed on there.
It looked like you were ready to just kind of teeter on the edge and fall over, and I'm like, oh no. I was ready to call it, but you were able to recover and finish off the rest of the fight, which, well done for that.
Yeah.
Was there anything that, going back, you kind of go, all right, this was a really good, I guess, routing decision that you made looking back on the run, or I don't know if you could really do that at this point so early.
Yeah, I do like my decision when I got the bow to go over to Eastern. I mean, it's a crystal. There's lots of items there with Eastern and Sahasrara. So it's kind of one of those things where you get an item and then you change your routing on the fly. And I'm happy I did that instead of continuing into Escape like I had planned. I mean, I would have got the mirror instead of the boots, but still, I think it was the right call at the time.
Well, you were definitely the first into Eastern Palace and the first to get the boots. Well, out of everybody who was restreamed, at least. As Malagord is putting the finishing touches on Ganon, and J-Lo is into Turtle Rock, it looks like he's going to be unfortunately denied in the near future.
Yeah, this seed was rough. We had nothing higher than Master Sword until GT. Going through Turtle Rock with Master Sword and no Fire Rod is kind of a pain.
What finally pushed you to Ice Palace? Was it just process of elimination at that point?
That was pretty much last location. I think I still had the mushroom to turn in. But other than that, Ice Palace was my last location.
Ooh.
I never even activated my flute. Flute's kind of, I don't want to say completely useless, but when you get it late and inverted, it seems like it's not really worth the time to, because you have to go into the light world and then wait for the song. I don't know if it really saves that much time.
Alright, well, we have J-Lo left, and it looks like he's going through Turtle Rock. I am not sure if Malagord is going to be joining us or not, but
I don't know. We had finished, technically had finished in 14th place with a time of 17:19. So nothing happened on over there. I'm not sure what really happened, but
well, it was someone had finished. Bonta, I believe, finished at a minute, or not a minute 25, an hour 25, but then they realized they were running the wrong seed, as they changed the seed very near
Yeah.
the beginning of the race.
Yeah, there was some confusion because the bot that normally generates the seeds wasn't working properly. So there was some confusion with the seeds.
Yeah.
So that's really unfortunate for Bonta.
Yeah, I mean,
Chad, of course, coming in with the gem of Bonta was the winner for not having to play this seed.
Yeah, that's how I was gonna start. Like, you know, all hail Bonta for, you know, for getting to play a much better seed than we had.
oh my God, it's Malagor. GG, man.
Hey, GG Malagor.
Well,
Classic fire route, am I right?
Classic. Oh. At least you didn't succumb to the 22 chest catastrophe that was Guy's tower.
yeah, the La Casa de Fiesta there.
I was okay with that. I mean, it figures that it would be tile room in this seed, but I mean, I needed another sword. I mean, I didn't need it, but I wanted another sword anyway, and so it was over there on the left side. So I was happy finding.
Yeah. And then butter at the top just for kicks.
So the route that I took, I have no clue what the seed wanted. I was so far into a sequence break out of logic for about an hour that I have no clue. I imagine I was supposed to get the mirror really early, but beyond that, I was out for logic.
Yeah, I sequence broke up Death Mountain, and then found the lamp was up there, so I was like, okay, well, the flute, where the heck is that? I don't remember where it was. But yeah,
I never activated it. By the time
No,
I got there, I needed fire rod, and that was it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
The flute was in Meyer Shed, if memory serves me correctly.
That makes
Yeah,
sense because
so-
my mirror was so late. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were supposed to get the mirror, then the flute, and then go up and get the lamp.
And unfortunately for JLo, he is checking all of these out-of-the-way locations, just like it seemed everybody else was doing for, I guess, trying to avoid going into Ice Palace.
Did he hasn't been in yet at all?
No. No, he's
No.
not.
I was really surprised with... I mean, of course I saw Bonta finish, and I had like 2 crystals at the time. But I figured I was way behind. I had some really bad execution errors, and but then it just kept going, and I should have realized that the fire rat has to be in Ice Palace with how no one was finishing.
Yeah, I should have gambled on tile room. I've done that before when people were finishing later than expected, and I'm like, I'm gonna gamble tile room. So I did not do it this time.
Yeah, Revolving Ocelot in the chat saying you needed to get the mirror to get to Meyer, and then the Meyer would give you the flute, which would then allow you to access the lantern.
Yeah.
And that brings the boots and everything in.
And it looks like Jay is trying to figure out what he's missed at this point. Kind of hesitating on the save and quit. So it looks like... Well, it looks like he's going to keep going, so we'll see where he ends up. And it looks like he's making a beeline to Ice Palace at this point, so he is on the right track.
Oh, man.
All right.
216. That is insane.
Yeah, this was rough, to put it bluntly.
It was rough.
And the worst part was it started out okay. I mean, Hammer was, immediately in Link's house. And then I went straight to Thieves' Town. I took one death, but then 4-Heart Blind, and there were the gloves. And then Moonport was right there in Skull. I thought I was flying. And then the rest happened.
Yeah, I think the Red Cane was an early find as well for most of the runners.
Right.
That
It's
was in Thieves' Town, right?
the perfect definition of a seed that gives you so much right at the start and then just trolls you at the very end.
Yep. Well,
But now we can say J-Lo is on the track. He's into Ice Palace and making his way through. So J-Lo will hopefully be able to endure this and get to Cold Stare.
I hope so too.
all right. I'm gonna step out. Thanks for having me. Thanks for commentating. And thanks
No
for
problem,
tracking
man.
stuff. And GG Malagorn.
GG, Idiom. I'm going to head out as well. Thank you guys. I always appreciate the restream and everything you guys do. And good luck to Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night or good morning, depending on where you guys are. And hope to see you the next time around.
Yep. See ya.
See ya. Ooh.
So, so let's see, 2:45. Do you think that's a realistic time for J-Lo here?
I don't really think so. I mean if if he goes as fast as he possibly can, then it is possible, but I don't know.
Well, it's basically just a matter of finishing off Ice Palace, then getting to the laser bridge and basically going through the back of
Turtle Rock.
yeah, Turtle Rock, and then off to Ganon's Tower.
Right.
For all, 2 or 3 of you that have stuck it through to watch this fiesta to its very end. Hopefully we can try to keep things a little entertaining. But I think Tiberius has it best in the chat there. We laugh when it happens because we know how bad it is when we have to play through it, and I think you're right on that regard.
I mean, if I was playing the seed right now, I would just be dead inside. After realizing that Fire Rod was all the way in Ice Palace, and
yeah, there seems to be that one item every once in a while just does this, and oof.
Yeah.
But J-Lo looks to be trying to exhaust every opportunity to find every chest he can, but unfortunately we know where that Fire Rod is, and it is Cold Stare that is holding on to it. So we'll see where this is gonna take us. J-Lo still progressing through. Surprisingly not gonna bomb jump, but gonna head over to pick up the half magic. So an impromptu magic refill as well.
Right. I mean, J-Lo is going in the right direction too, not opting to mirror out or save and quit.
Well, I think J-Lo, much like most of the other runners before him, have basically exhausted all of their options as to where this fire rod could be. It could only be in Ice Palace somewhere.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of hoping it's not on Cold Stare and somewhere else that's, relatively accessible. But unfortunately, that is not the case.
Right.
And J-Lo was just kind of having to plug away a bit, using the powder to catch a fairy. And here we go. J-Lo is found his way to the drop down for Cold Stare.
Right.
So this is admittedly a bit of a tilter here, because you go through all of this just to realize Cold Stare's the one holding the fire rod.
Right.
And I can tell this is weighing on you a little bit at this point as well. So
yeah, it is.
J-Lo busting out the hammer and just kind of going, all right, I've got a fairy. Let's try to get this done, because the level 2 magic sword is just not really effective here.
No. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd rather just get back to just to Armo's quick kill practice and just. But J-Lo does get Cold Stare down and out. There's the fire rod. And normally this is where I would say my conductor voice line, but at this point I just decided not to, because it's just late in the game, and
well,
late in the game. But I guess
after
just
2.5 hours, it's
right. Just because you got that fraud stud over here, and it's J-Lo.
But here we go. Fire rod in hand, finally. So J-Lo should be able to make his way up into Turtle Rock. Hopefully just dropping down into the laser bridge and taking a bit of a shortcut to find his way into the Trinex fight. So, let's see. Oh, J-Lo opting to go into the front door. Nope,
No,
noping out.
He's
nope.
juking. He's juking and
Oh,
jiving.
he just got debated. J-Lo going through the front door and not choosing to go through Laser Bridge.
I mean, I think if I'm in his shoes right now, I think he's pretty much done too. He just wants to clear this. He just wants to beat the game.
Yeah, definitely. Gonna give the A for effort for sticking through and slogging through. Just mess. But I guess this is half trying to find the big key at this point. J-Lo may not have it.
Yeah, he's probably looking to grab that too. He's looking to go for he needs to do another cycle of this this train ride, I guess.
I'm fairly certain J-Lo did the Laser Bridge, but at this point I'm questioning many things, most of which my sanity is pretty high on that list right now.
I don't blame you. Second thing. Or is it just your sanity? That's it.
Yeah, but I mean, I know it's just not there, but we're actually getting a map check for J-Lo. Looks like just trying to remember where he has been so far.
I've had that happen where I map checked and I'm in a dungeon. I'm like, oh right, I'm in a dungeon. Whoops.
But this is oh, looks like a mirror out, so probably off to the Laser Bridge at this point, and hopefully that's where he's headed.
Yeah, I think that's where he's gonna head to now.
Going a little out of his way to thwomp a dead rock there, but can't blame him. This is just ugh.
Oh my.
Oh no, are we headed to Mimic Cave? Oh
no,
Spiral Cave. And
you just realized that I think he overstepped.
Yeah. Looks like he missed where he wanted to go.
He was heading for Mimic Cave but in realizing that that's not where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna try to fix his oh. Now he just needs to figure out how to get to the big chest. And it looks like apply bombos as needed, but yeah, denied on the big key, so oof.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's gonna be a mirror out, so J-Lo I think is gonna have to reset himself here on scaling back up to Turtle Rock.
This is unfortunate.
So we'll see how J-Lo tries to get through this. Possibly making a mistake and remembering where the Laser Bridge is. Hopefully he'll remember which one it is. Looks like he got it this time, so
Yep.
And no, J-Lo did not go to Laser Bridge so far. This is just gonna use the blue cane. There's the mushroom. And now he's going to try to use his iframes and that blue cane to good effect here. There's a key. And the blue cane expires. Looks like he picked up the key he needs and just going to come back for this last chest. And there's the riot shield. And J-Lo figuring out the puzzle, gonna take his magic refill, and this should find him. Oh no, gonna get denied with not having the big key yet again. Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh no.
So we'll see if J-Lo just decides, alright, I've had enough, or if he'll try to persevere.
Yeah, he's contemplating that right now. He's gonna keep on going.
Yeah, after 2 hours and 41 minutes, I think I just kind of put my foot down and said, alright, enough's enough. I'm just going to have to finish this one out.
Right. And it takes true dedication to even clear it of this with this long of a time, but and I all respect to J-Lo and for all the runners in today's race.
And there we go. There's finally getting the big key, and J-Lo remembering he can mirror back out to the laser bridge entrance, so he'll be able to find his way onto through the puzzle room. And oh, nice. The magic refill's still there. So now we're off to a date with Trinex.
Yeah, finally. Oh my lord. Oh man.
J-Lo down to 2.5 hearts. Looks like through it for the most part. Just oh, down to half a heart. Gonna have to
And there he goes.
Oh, at 2:45 almost, Jay finally getting his 7th crystal, and now it's just a nice little trek back to Hyrule Castle, and he will make his way into Ganon's Tower from there. And I think J-Lo is just kind of on muscle memory alone, kind of hoofing it over to where Ganon's tower would normally be, but that is unfortunately not the case. And soon realizing it, using the flute, and now going to gain what would normally be Dark World access, but in this case, Light World access. And normally the target area would be Ganon's tower, but for this inverted seed, it's Aghanim's lair for the regular Hyrule Castle is where the entrance to Ganon's tower is. And yes, the big key is in the tile room. And here we go. It looks like J-Lo is about to unlock La Casa de Fiesta. And here we go. Number 1, bombs. Number 2, small key.
Is this all over again? Get me out of here.
Man, I was the one that wanted to tap out like an hour ago.
Me too. Oh. It takes a real man to, sit through here for almost 3 hours. But I will keep going.
Oh, come on, SRK. This is definitely a fiesta here with this seed. And it is a castle, therefore La Casa de Fiesta.
Oh, makes sense actually, yeah.
Let's see, I believe fire bar is 8. Yeah, who knew that this would turn into a 3-hour race, and it's not even a combo randomizer.
No, not at all. And that's the most unfortunate thing.
The J-Lo into the randomizer room, so he can pick up the tempered sword. Oh, and the guilty party rears her head. Math Girl, fessing up for this, I'm not even sure what to call this. It's like when a train wreck happens when an airplane crashes at the same spot, and it's just all manner of disaster.
When the conductor calls you a picnic, ugh. I don't even know. Oh.
Here we go with the Armos on ice. And J-Lo making short work of it, so this should be...
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what the other seed would have been with somebody finishing in an hour and a half, but realizing they played the wrong seed. Oh boy. I think I would already be in bed tonight, but.
Aim for me. Oh my lord.
Looks like J-Lo trolling the tile room here, just using the cape and
Hey, I remember. I think that was a strategy that Andy used in one of the in the tile rooms. Or no, wait, no. I was in one of the rooms where I was commentating one time, and that same thing happened. My memory's so fuzzy at the moment because I am so worn out.
Well, for me, it's working on midnight at this point, but there's the big key. It's in the tile room. So those of you about an hour ago that picked number 22 were our winners.
I mean, at this point, everyone's a winner at this point. Oh, God. Oh.
So now J-Lo manipulating the enemies into position. And off they go. They're done for. Oh, that was interesting. J-Lo trapping all of the spikes going back and forth inside of the tiles. As our ascent up Ganon's tower continues, I'm going to see a stop at Landmolus in the near future, as well as our second Trolldorm fight. And J-Lo just deciding it's not much to do with this nonsense and just applying Bombos fairly liberally.
I don't blame him. Just get it over with. It's use the medallions.
Oh, and walking away from a refill, but hey, you got half magic, put it to good use.
Yeah, you might as well.
Oh, peeking his head back up there, trying to see if that refill potion was still there, and unfortunately, that's not the case. But, here we go. It's time for Landmolus 2. Gonna pick up a fairy along the way. So this should be a fairly quick fight.
Well, relatively quick.
Now, unfortunately, oof,
Oof.
the slowdown making it a little difficult for J-Lo to land the silver arrow.
Right, that's a problem.
There's two. Oh, just missing. One left. Ooh. Guessed left and it went right. Ooh.
Oh boy.
There we go.
There we go. I can see the light from here now. I can see the light. It's almost over.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh
Oh no!
J-Lo not quite shifting himself over enough, and so channeling his inner running back, just rushing right through that little group of enemies there. Now it's time to play fun with the fire bar.
Yay!
And just enough magic to make it through. It looks like he's going to pick up a refill and head up. Just to use that magic all over again to light a couple more torches. And another key. And a piece of heart. See if J-Lo gets the proper bomb placement. There we go. Well done on the bomb. Now, the butter sword will be in here, so we'll see if he picks it up, and yes, he does. Takes the magic refill, takes the butter sword, and here we are with our final Trolldorm 2 fight of the evening.
It's finally over.
Just a couple more rooms to go.
Right. Don't get that wrong. Don't get that mixed up. We need to get those rooms done. Ugh.
So just run through, and that'll be this little puzzle room. And now it's time for a geometry test. Ooh, a little too early, and J-Lo lands at least one.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looked like a double, so halfway home.
Right. I get.
Ooh,
get
nothing there. That's 4. There's 5. So one more, and that should do it.
That's it.
The rage is real. The rage is real.
I
Wow.
don't blame you, man. I don't blame you, J-Lo. I don't blame you.
Much rage slash many wow.
Oh. Just one more fight, and then I can finally relax. Finally rest. Knowing that I have persevered.
Yeah, and we're going on to the 3-hour mark here with J-Lo. So this has definitely been an endurance match tonight. As J-Lo should make fairly short work of this.
And we have now crossed 3 hours. Oh, man.
Well, the good thing is we're already into the third segment of this fight.
Right.
And this should be the last hit. So we're on to the final segment. And hopefully... Oh,
no! No!
Oh,
it continues! It continues!
J-Lo, no. Bad.
It continues. No!
So a bit of a long walk to get back to the drop-down hole for our Ganon fight again, but hopefully J-Lo will... Oh, looks like we're switching to the cape, so J-Lo getting a quick slash in, a quick couple of slashes, so J-Lo's just decided, yeah, I've had enough. I'm just going to use the cape.
I don't blame him.
And using a blue potion, so looks like we're gonna pretty much get through the first 2 stages and the third. Hopefully, unfortunately, not able to pull off the torch glitch, but this should be at least 1 or 2 hits here on Ganon. Well, lands 1. Unfortunately, the fire extinguishes pretty quickly here. So there's 2 hits. Ooh, it counts the 3rd one. So 1 more hit. Fortunately, Ganon not exactly in the best place, but this should do it.
And that's it. It's finally over. Oh!
Oh, wait. There's 1 more very important quest. It is 3 blocks wide. And you have to make sure you stay in the middle, otherwise you can fall off. But there we go.
And he is now finished in 16th place with an official SRL time of 3 hours, 3 minutes, and 13 seconds. Oh, it's over. It's finally over. Oh, please. Oh, okay, so thank you so much to everyone who has stuck it through to watch this. Watch us. This is the sound of a broken commentator.
Error in commentator.exe. Please restart application.
Yes. So I guess that's gonna do it for us. I'd like to thank the runners who put up an amazing job, and for those who had stuck it out all the way to the very end. I'm gonna like to thank our trackers who had kept it all up to date on what items have been found. We got Revolving Ocelot and Sandoris on the comment on the tracking side, and I'd like to thank my co-commentator Frico for pulling it out all the way to the very end.
Yeah, this was definitely La Casa de Fiesta here at the end, but if the runner's going to show some heart and pull through all the way to the end, I've got to do my part and, stick with them.
Yeah, and I would do my part as well.
I don't know if J-Lo is going to jump in for an interview, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, if I was him right now, I'd probably just be glad that it's over and just skip out on it.
Well, you never know, but it looks like we'll see what happens. It looks like the collection rate 190 of 216, so J-Lo definitely not leaving much left on the table for where the fire rod could have been.
Right.
But I think that might just do it for us tonight. Unfortunately for J-Lo, with this just taking so long, I think
Yeah.
we're just going to call it a night.
That's what we're gonna probably do here. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Professor Renderer.
I am Frico, and have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Take care.